Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
Voting absentee can be complicated. Coming up, how the state is making sure that everything down to the envelopes are making it easier for people to vote.
All right, Grant, also a new trend in Dearborn. The city's police chief talks to the Local 4 defenders about a recent spike in crime there.
But up first, breaking news regarding the reopening of Michigan. Governor Whitmer signing an executive order reopening movie theaters, performance venues, and bowling centers starting on October 9th. The order also now requires students in grades kindergarten and up to wear face coverings in classrooms, except for those in the Traverse City region and the Upper Peninsula. The prior order, you may recall, only recommended face coverings for kindergarten through the 5th grade.
Also in that order, non-residential indoor gatherings are limited to 20% of the seating capacity with a maximum of 500 people. Non-residential outdoor gatherings are limited to 30% of that seating capacity with a maximum there of 1,000 people. All this comes as the state reports 929 new cases of COVID-19, with 8 more lives lost to the virus.
Our other top story here at 6 tonight, Dearborn's police chief speaking out after a recent rise in crime.
The latest involved a 46-year-old man who was shot and killed in front of a home Wednesday. As Local 4 defender Sean Lay shows us, the chief is blaming the number of illegal guns that are on the streets. Sean.
Let's talk about the key issues right now here in Dearborn. The staggering number of illegal guns police are finding on people in the streets, the increase in shootings here, and now more homicides this year than all of last year. 4 last year, we're up to 5 this year. Is there a reason why?
We're 20% ahead of last year already with our fatalities. We had a fatal shooting the other night.
The Local 4 defenders asking Dearborn Police Chief Ron Haddad about alarming issues of violent crime in Dearborn.
Shooting incidents have exactly doubled. We had 6 the total last year. We're up to 12 this year.
How much does that concern you to double the shootings?
It's very concerning. And another thing that really concerns me is that gun arrests are up by about 140%.
Let's talk about that number of gun arrests up 140%. That is just from June to July of this summer. Traffic stops, road rage. When police arrive, they're finding guns.
Increasingly, our men and women are encountering armed persons on a daily basis.
Legally armed?
Illegally armed.
When you saw that number, what did you think?
It caused me great concern just to know that every night our men and women are encountering weapons on the street. I'm really concerned about their safety. We are very well trained. We take great precaution, but in spite of that, they're extremely vulnerable at this time.
The chief says, yes, they are busy, but the bottom line, there have been no violent interactions between his officers and anyone they're having contact with. He just says people are angry right now and people are armed. In Dearborn, Sean Lay, Local 4 defenders.
All right, Sean. We are getting a look at the man charged in the deadly hit and run that killed a construction worker this week in St. Clair Shores. 51-year-old Martin Dwayne Smith of Harper Woods is charged with failure to stop at a deadly accident. It was 26-year-old Zach Morissette who was hit while doing road work Monday on eastbound I-94 near 9 Mile. Prosecutors say Smith never stopped. Bond is set at $25,000, and he's due back in court next month. Well, she made so much history throughout her lifetime, and now she's doing it again in death as the nation remembers her.
Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg is the first woman and first Jewish person to lie in state at the U.S. Capitol. She died last week from cancer at the age of 87. Ginsburg's family, members of Congress, and Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden were there today to honor her. Her peer on the High Court, Justice Stephen Breyer, spoke about how he remembers Ginsburg.
She has strong principles, and she holds them. She's the kind of person that as a person, you like her better the more you know her.
Today's memorial comes a day before President Trump is set to announce his pick to be Ginsburg's successor. The New York Times is reporting the president will select Judge Amy Coney Barrett. NPR reports before her death, Ginsburg wrote she wished nominating her successor could wait until a new president was in office. All right, let's get a check of the weather, and boy, those 80-degree temperatures. hanging around to our delight.
It's been spectacular. Ben is going to let us know now how long it's going to last. Ben?
Yeah, we've taken everything you loved about this week and we're going to make it even nicer as we go into the weekend. Well, we're not going to, but we're going to tell you it's going to be. How about that? 75 in Detroit right now, 76 in Howell. These are just perfect temperatures for late September. Very light breeze, not much humidity as that air remains dry. And the weekend, again, looks fantastic. Our warmest temperature of the forecast comes tomorrow at 82. We'll be at 80 on Sunday. Eventually, those showers are going to push in. They'll be here late, so we'll look at the timing of that. And beyond the weekend, temperature's going to fall off a cliff. We've been talking about that for days, but now we've got a better idea just how long some of these cold numbers are going to stick around. So we'll look at that in just a few minutes. Guys?
All right, look forward to it, Ben. Decision 2020 now, and a record number of Michiganders have begun the process of filling out their absentee ballot.
Now, that process can be a bit overwhelming for first-time absentee voters. Grant Herm shows us how the state left no stone unturned to create a simple design that it's hoped will help everyone.
Voting by mail seems, well, easy. Fill out the bubbles, sign the paper, send it back, democracy done. But it's often not the case. In Michigan's last primary, more than 10,000 ballots were invalid, most of them because a clerk couldn't verify the signature or they came in late. In November, millions are expected to vote absentee, and that's where the Center for Civic Design comes in.
We think of civic design as good design in the service of civic engagement.
On its website, the Maryland-based group says civic design is about making every meeting between a citizen and the government effective, easy, and pleasant.
It's not any harder to write a good letter than a not so great letter. It's not any harder to design a good envelope than a not so great envelope. Let's put that little extra energy in at the beginning of the process so 5 million voters in Michigan have a better experience.
So we decided to take a look for ourselves. Right on the inside, clear instructions front and back how to fill out your ballot. A reminder here on how to fill that out and telling you not to forget to sign your ballot. A reminder on who to call should you have any questions and how to track your ballot once it's in the mail. Oh, and there's this, a clear place to sign and a checklist on the last thing you do before you make it official.
So much of the work of elections goes into the mechanics, getting the polling places set up, getting the poll workers trained, getting the ballots out on the right date, counting the ballots.
A little personal design to help shape such a grand one as democracy.
Well, what if our election materials were like that? Right? If they said, hey, voter, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being a voter. Let me help you through this process.
Another cool thing here is, although ours is pretty bland, a lot of places have color-coded envelopes that help voters through this process. But I'll admit, I'm a bit of a nerd for this kind of stuff. Now, we should say that CCD is a nonpartisan, nonprofit group that helps states just help people vote, which in this election cycle, Devin, is a bit of a bright spot.
Nerds in demand right now. Not to be a downer here, but there is always a catch. And this, of course, has to have cost the state some money.
Well, that's the thing, is that this actually didn't cost the state a dime, at least for not the design here. CCD has their own funding through grants and just lets any state use their designs. We just had to pay to print them, which we were going to do anyway.
There you go. Nice. All right, Grant.
Yeah.
A quick reminder here, Grant and the Local 4 Trust Index team will be fact-checking the first debate between President Trump and Joe Biden, which is next week. That's Tuesday night from Cleveland. You can watch the debate live on Local 4 at 9, and while you're watching, follow the fact-checking along on clickondetroit.com.
Slowly, Michigan businesses are starting to reopen, but there are still many that haven't seen a dime of revenue since March, and one of those is the music industry.
And the smaller players in this arena are really just hanging on for dear life, so much so that they're looking to the state of Michigan for some help. Our business editor, Rob Maloney, has their story.
Detroit's musical heritage is rich. I mean, let's face it, Motown, Bob Seger, Madonna, Eminem, Kid Rock, they all got their starts before playing the big arenas and the smaller arenas around Metro Detroit. And yet it's those smaller arenas that are in deep financial trouble now because of COVID.
Detroit, come on!
The Aretha, as we call it today, is a city-owned summertime waterfront gem enjoyed by Metro Detroit for years. But after 6 months of COVID closure, silencing these kinds of performances, it's in peril. The city contracts its operation to the Wright Productions, and its CEO, Shahida Mauzi, tells Local 4.
The economic impact on our industry is catastrophic at this point, and we don't know what to expect going into the winter or even into the spring.
Mousy is part of the National Association of Independent Venues, as is Ferndale's Magic Bag. These smaller venues asked Washington for help and couldn't get any. Frustrated, now Mousy and her friends look to Lansing for assistance.
There are venues in this state that are allowed to have more than 100 people, and they're indoors. We're outdoors, fresh air, 9 acres, 6,000 seats, and we can only have 100 people?
Mousy says the group needs about $10 million to stay afloat. After budget season ended in Lansing, State Representative Rebecca Warren decided to try and find that money because
if Detroit Rec City, if the heart of Motown that still beats in our state can't be the ones who step up and say, we've got to do something to protect this cherished set of our economy in our state, like who's going to step up and do it?
it is still early, and Warren believes that there is money to be found with state grants or loans or some kind of business help. But she needs some help from the Senate and also even the governor's office, and it's still very early in the game here to know whether this will get any traction at all. In Detroit, Rod Maloney, Local 4.
Okay, Rod, starting a business at a young age is one thing, but how about starting that business in the middle of a pandemic? After opening a clothing store in Southfield, LaDon decided to open a new location in Royal Oak. As Larry Sproul shows us, he says starting the business now was the perfect time.
Business here in downtown Royal Oak is picking back up, and I spoke with one local business owner who is not only opening up a business in the middle of the pandemic, but he's also one of the youngest African-American men to have a business here in downtown Royal Oak.
We have the Iron Sharpens Iron.
Welcome to LaDon Collection, the newest store in downtown Royal Oak on South Washington Avenue.
Where art, fashion, sneakers.
And Saturday, owner LaDon will open up his second clothing store to the public. His first one is in Southfield and this one in Royal Oak. He says he's beating the odds.
You know, it's a scary thing to open up a business in times like that.
But he did it anyways.
I figured that getting a storefront in Royal Oak, where it's predominantly catered to other races than us, you know, I want to showcase that I could compete.
Competing in his late 20s.
Being one of the youngest black men, you know, in Royal Oak, and you know, being Nigerian is different. It's a different feeling.
I asked LaDon why here, why now.
My late great friend DJ Slick B, he always told me if I was going to open up a store, it had to be in Royal Oak. And so when I always thought about where I wanted my store, Royal Oak just felt like the right place. We want to make sure that we're catering to everybody, and in the day and age where we scream Black Lives Matter, we want to make sure that we're leading by example by being inclusive as well.
He says his next possible location, you guessed it, downtown Detroit. Larry Sproul, Local 4.
All right, Larry, in good health, a new warning if you're headed to the dentist.
Find out who's at risk for a problem that could cause problems to a patient's health.
And as the battle against the coronavirus continues, health experts discover a vitamin that can make a difference in fighting it. We've got more on that coming up.